The academic procession is about to enter the hall. We will be singing the national anthem, the words of which are on page 8 of the program. We invite you now to stand for the academic procession and remain standing for the national anthem.
I, Mr. David Hill, the Deputy Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, do declare open this congregation convened for the purposes of presenting degrees. Distinguished guests, parents, relatives, friends, and especially our graduates, welcome. This is a very, very special day, one of the University of Adelaide's graduation ceremonies. We acknowledge the Kaurna people, past and present, the original custodians of the Adelaide Plains, upon which the beautiful campuses of the University of Adelaide are built. And we acknowledge the Kaurna people's ongoing spiritual connection to this land. Well, it's turned into quite a beautiful day, hasn't it, with the sun finally shining, but what extraordinary times we live in. It really is a privilege, isn't it, today to be able to meet like this when so many around the world cannot, and we also think of our colleagues in Melbourne who have suffered so much, and today with the earthquake. It is quite remarkable that if that was occurring here, we probably wouldn't be able to meet. So we are very thankful. Graduates, your graduation is a very, very special moment in your lives. It's a very special moment for you, for your family, and one in which you can take great pride. We also, at the University of Adelaide, feel that sense of pride and satisfaction with you. Graduation Day is a ceremony in which you can reflect on the opportunity you have been given, on the skills and the knowledge you have acquired here at this institution, which we trust will put you in very good stead for whatever occurs in your working and professional life, and also, most importantly, for the future aspects of your life itself. Now, it's my very great privilege to introduce to you a very special orator who has a lot in common with each of you and perhaps gives you a glimpse of what will be possible in your careers. Our orator today is Mr. Brenton Cox. Mr. Cox is Adelaide Airport's Chief Financial Officer. I'm sure, Brenton, that's been quite the journey of recent times. He's also the General Counsel and Company Secretary there as well. Brenton was previously a non-executive director of Sydney and Hobart Airports, and he was an investment banker with Macquarie Capital in Sydney and London. He has a Masters of Law from Cambridge University in the UK, and in fact 3 undergraduate degrees from here at the University of Adelaide, including what's relevant to many of you in Commerce and Finance. And he graduated from this university approximately 20 years ago. He's also a great servant of the South Australian public. He sits on the board of the South Australian Property Council, the South Australian Freight Council, and he's chair of Seymour College's Audit, Risk and Compliance Committee. And for us here at the University of Adelaide, we are really delighted that Brenton has been so willing to serve as a valued member of our advisory board for the Adelaide Business School. So we're very privileged to hear Brenton speak, and without further ado, I'd ask Brenton to come forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chancellor Mr. David Hill and Acting Provost Professor John Williams. Thank you, distinguished guests, our wonderful academic staff, and most importantly, our Adelaide University graduates and their families and friends. Congratulations, graduates of 2021. You should be incredibly proud of yourselves and take this day at the very least to bathe in that pride. I remember being in your shoes 20 years ago, and I wish I'd paid a bit more attention then than I did. The speaker at the time actually started off with talking about this moment of graduation as being that moment in life when you're at base camp and the rest of your life is like climbing Mount Everest. Now, I love a bit of mountain climbing, I'm sure many people do, but I did find it hard to look forward to a lifetime of exhaustion, struggling to breathe, with the real likelihood of plummeting to the bottom of a crevasse to suffer debilitating but not quite life-ending injuries, allowing me to slowly suffer, freezing to death, while I considered the futility of my own existence. For some reason, that analogy did not appeal. So I drifted at that moment to thinking about the sort of pints of the Cooper's Pale Ale I'd devour at the British Hotel with my old classmates. And what I will say, and I'll pause in this story, to say, look around now, your peers, the people that you're graduating with. When you're a crusty old bugger like me, they'll be some of your best friends even then. But in my early 20s, what I didn't know is that I'd become somewhat addicted to the thrill of connecting people through travel or helping them learn and just watching how they grow and contribute to the world. These were joys that I stumbled across in life. So an analogy to fill the next 10 minutes of your life that you'll never get back is not going to be about Everest, but perhaps something a little less tangible right now, a little harder to reach, and it's a travel theme. It's about your own Kentucky tour of life. I checked and Kentucky tours still exist. I thought perhaps the last 20 months would be too much for them, but if you're not familiar with these tours, it's the sort of idea where you backpack around the world, but it's a little bit perhaps looser than that. What I'll say is the reason why that's relevant is that you never stop learning. Every day, every city you go to, each milestone, each experience is just another stop on the way. You do need a plan, but sometimes just stay curious, see where the plane or bus might take you. So what I've outlined today is perhaps some of the questionable advice I've picked up on my own Kentucky tour of life. These are 7 pieces of advice. So arguably the 7 deadly sins, which is also relevant for a Kentucky tour. You might hate these, but I love them. And I'll start with the first being quite basic. Stay fit and healthy. So we're not on the tour bus yet, we're on the bike that my father rode to work every single day of his career, and he drilled in very early in life that you've got to stay healthy. Most of you are very young, and years of good or bad habits have a tendency to accrue for better or for worse over time. If you're not healthy, you can't be at your best. If you're fit and healthy, you're far more likely to be able to think clearly and have greater resilience. Life is a marathon, not a sprint, as they say, and if you don't look after yourself, you'll be stuck in the first town that the bus drops you off. Second, be a teacher. My mother was a teacher, and it was only when I worked here for a brief stint as a university teacher on these hallowed grounds that I appreciated how rewarding teaching is. Teaching has to be one of the most noble of professions, the most noble. But you don't need to be a teacher by profession to be generous with your knowledge. And teaching doesn't have to be a virtuous one-way street. I'm fast-forwarding a little bit now into my Kentucky tour of life, having moved back to Sydney in my late 20s. And there was an executive director at work that used to tell me that I had to make myself redundant. Now, this was just after the GFC, and that all felt a little bit confronting. But what he meant was, it's only once you've taught your team to the point that they can perform your job that you'll get the opportunity to step up when that comes your way. So teaching isn't just rewarding, and it's not that you just get to see people grow, but it also creates opportunities for you. It's been said that if you're not learning, if you're not curious about how the world works, then you're dying. Perhaps dying somewhere in a crevasse on the way to Everest. I'd rather be drinking sangria, watching the sun set on a beachside rooftop in San Sebastian. So teach and learn and do not stop. Third, your resume is your brand. So be deliberate about how you build it. Our journey's now officially started at the point where I spent a couple of months in Melbourne and in the sort of summer holidays before I graduated, and the law firm of a partner of a global law firm there gave me 3 hot tips, and I very much took these to heart. 1, work overseas. 2, work for a global brand. 3, do postgraduate study. And do it somewhere different from where you did your undergrad. Now, this is probably not the right place to be sharing that final point, but I did take all of those very seriously and followed those hot tips, as you might have picked up from the rather embarrassing but kind introduction. You get to keep those experiences for life. 4th, working hard is worth it. There's a saying, work smart, not hard. But the reality is you have to work smart and you have to work hard. My own little Kentucky tour of life is now in Belgium, where I was battling to complete a financial model for a Brussels airport deal with a bit of deal fatigue, and a wise Frenchman with an excellent accent that I can't really repeat said, there are lots of smart people in this world, and there are lots of hard-working people in this world, but there are not many smart and hard-working people, so you must be both. Now, you are all smart, and that is why you're here. And some of you might not want to work hard, and that's fine. But just know that only through working hard that you can make the most of your abilities. And that's the only way you can live a full life. But it is your choice. To continue the theme, a former Chief Justice of South Australia that attended this university said to me that sometimes work can feel overwhelming, but do not freeze, break down what you have in front of you and just get going and work it out. The more time you spend doing is less time spent worrying, so solve problems. Don't leave problems to others. Make others' lives easier. Make it so that no problem is too big. You can work it out. If you need resources in a workplace, Go and get them. The chances are that if you need them, anyone else doing that will need them too. If you know you have a capacity for work, you develop a capacity for problem solving, and this will instill and generate an innate confidence in yourself. Fifth, have fun, but maintain self-control. I'm told this is a bit of dad advice, but a senior insolvency practitioner, which is the equivalent of a corporate undertaker, they still can have fun, but he's now a career director of ASX-listed companies, said to me, do not have sex with your colleagues. Unless you're going to marry them, and that generally doesn't happen, it just works out badly. So that same person said that who you are in your personal life impacts on your professional reputation. So don't entertain addictions like smoking or drugs or disrespecting alcohol. It's a slippery slope. It can seem fine from time to time, but it is a slide that many people find very hard to get off. This all seems a bit obvious, but many careers have met an untimely end through ill discipline. Sixth, have a growth mindset. I've made it back to Adelaide now, and this comes from my daughter 5 years ago when she was 4 years old. She overheard my wife and I discussing some sort of trivial problem, and she said, is it a mouse problem or an elephant problem? Because unless someone is going to die, it's going to be a mouse problem. She then taught us about having a growth mindset, which kids learn in preschool these days. Some of you might have learned it, I'm not sure. I certainly was just left to sort of work it all out. She said, always be kind and stay calm and care for one another. Be respectful and listen and put yourself in other people's shoes. Kids are way smarter these days. I simply reflect on this as be kind. Be someone that people want to work with. Value diversity and keep your eyes and ears open. Seventh and finally, find purpose in what you do, but don't stress about that too much. Don't worry if you can't find a sense of purpose straight away in your career. You'll initially be on a huge learning curve, and you should just be sucking up that experience and that context. But do in time look for work where you can contribute to society, and that does make you feel good. It does help to have a broad plan, but stay flexible to take advantage of unexpected opportunities. If you do stay positive, if you're curious, kind and hardworking, when opportunities arise, you'll grab them, and you might just stumble upon what really drives you and make you tick. The benefits of learning the skills that you've learned in this fine business school are that, probably without even you realising, you've learned how to allocate scarce resources to their highest and best use. These are skills that are needed in all walks of life, and you have every opportunity to find meaning in what you do through that. So I've stumbled across my own sense of purpose, but I didn't know that in this current stage of my own little Kentucky tour, the purpose I found in connecting people through aviation would be stopped, hopefully temporarily. So there are some things you can plan for, and there are many things that you just have to be ready and resilient so you can find your way back to your path and the purpose that you desire. So that's it. Take heed of this advice. Also, feel free to ignore it and go straight to the pub like I did 20 years ago, but make sure that you celebrate this moment. You deserve it. And I know day to day it doesn't often feel like it, but each of you, and this is a little cliche, but it is true, are the future of our planet. You can each make a positive influence. You will create the quality of life for my children and your own children in time, and you'll be shaping the fabric of our society as part of your own life's journey. And I can't wait to see what you all do. So please savour this moment and make sure you have a lot of fun with your own Kentucky tour of life. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the graduates and their families attending today's ceremony, I would like to thank Mr. Brenton Cox for his stimulating and inspiring address. We are honored that you have taken your time to join us on this special day to share with us your thoughts and experiences. Your words of encouragement and advice are greatly appreciated. They remind us that education places upon us an enduring responsibility to make the best possible use of the resources, the talents that we have, and to contribute to the betterment of the society we live in whatever way we can. Please join me again in thanking Mr. Brenton Cox.
I will now receive the candidates for degrees. I call upon the Acting Provost.
Deputy Chancellor, I, Professor John Williams, Acting Provost of the University of Adelaide, certify to you and to the whole university that the graduates who will be presented to you have fulfilled all the conditions prescribed for the admission to the ward for which they are so presented.
I, Mr. David Hill, Deputy Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, by virtue of the power committed to me by the University, confirm that each graduate presented here today is admitted to the rank and privileges of a holder of the award in the University for which they are so presented. I call on the Dean of the Adelaide Business School, Professor Noel Lindsay, to present the graduates.
Deputy Chancellor, I, Dean of the Adelaide Business School, Professor Noel Lindsay, present to you graduates from the Adelaide Business School. To the degree of Bachelor of Project Management, Manly Barnett. Cub Tony Robins. Vazani Nagdi. And Mohammed Fariz Zafar Iqbal. To the degree of Bachelor of Marketing, Holly Inglis Ewan. To the degree of Bachelor of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Jess Vincent Cincinnato. Daniel James Code. Thomas John Lee Thamaji. And Seeing Tung. To the degree of Bachelor of Finance International, Majid Emalu. And George Joseph Woodcock. To the degree of Bachelor of Finance, Shenya Liang. Hugh Munchenberg. Hei Chung In. Braden Ashley Sadler. Yeah, so see that. So, thank you. Braden Ashley Sadler. Lucinda Anastasia Silvestri. Dylan Tyndall. Yi Ping Young. And Iran Ya. To the degree of Bachelor of Commerce, Accounting, Asma Anwari. Carissa Sarah Mary Meldrum. And Lachlan Richard Ward. To the degree of Bachelor of Commerce, Syed Mohammed Ansar Abbas. Edward Rattray Allen. Elaine Almeida. Philip Alexander Amos. Dylan Bagley. Madison Jade Budge. Hannah Kate Bird. Jessica Cadd. Thomas Charles Campbell. Matthew Darcy Capewell Jones. Yogesh Chapagang. Hong Chen. Ji Jing Chen. Yi Tong Chen. Nixon Shushan Xiang. Brian Chong. Alexander David Christopher. Connor Patrick Clancy. Stephanie Joan Cool. Connor Zane D'Antonio. Sarah Emily Dight. Shu Hung Du. Narelle May Bailey Eckert. Eli Kading Egglestone. Riley Jackson Goy. Donald Goland. Jack Malin Grattan. Jian Zhou Gu. Shenyer Guo. Angus Thomas John Haynes. Harrison James Hill. Matthew Patrick Holligan. Ka-tung Hong. Henry Walter Neiman Jones. Mitchell Hugh Jones. Joshua Chan Kin Young. Christos Konstantin Karikis. Mark Lawrence Kavanagh. Ryan Anthony Kernahan. Shinjai Kaur. Jun Hong Jason Koo. Mikkel Joshua Kudanov. Ju Tong Kwok. Austin Eric Lavender. Wong Tong Lei. Nicholas Hayden Lewis. Xinglong Li. Yu Chi Li. Zihao Li. Shuhan Liang. Li Xiang Lim. Zi Xiong Lim. Xiuye Lin. Man Yu Yao Ruby. Iron Aiden Mather. Ethan Patrick McBriarty. Lillian Margaret Claire McGavin. Renee Gabriella Dominique Menezes. Dino Miraskija. Fiona Ho Binti Muhammad Benny Ho. Carming Ng. Carlin Ng. Shafiq Shamin bin Norman. Brill Jensen Parminchuan. Victoria Elizabeth Papanicolaou. Amy Jade Pedlar. Harry Reed Radloff. Yihan Rao. Alice May Robertson. David Nicholas Senior. Maria Slavakovic. Ka Ying Su. Julia Rose Southam. Georgina Elizabeth Stuckey. Ranji Soon. Dean Francesco Sutton. Qingling Tai. Denise Kai-Ni Tam. Donovan Tung. Gori Tung. Vasily Toskas. Feng Chang. Jennifer Ann Vale. Swapnil Valiyapu Rahil. Sujin Wang. Thomas Joel Wellesby. Jack Thornton Williams. Zachary Fraser Wilson. Matthew Hutton Woling. C. May Wong. Zhong Jia Qiang. Fei Fan Yong. Xiang Yi Yang. Michael James Zaccardo. Uhan Zhou. And Samuel David Zweck. To the degree of Bachelor of Business Management, Shang Zheng. And Sophie Ellen Thiel. To the degree of Bachelor of Business Global, Riley Michael Arnold. Chonghan He. And Gabrielle Li Wei Tan. To the degree of Bachelor of Accounting and Corporate Finance, Layla Guinevere Duckworth. Ming Lun Lo. Natalie Xinyi Wong. And Dinesh Kumar Sivasubramanian. To the degree of Bachelor of Accounting, Palomi Himanshu Devecha. And Lan Feng Zhou. Deputy Chancellor, this concludes the graduates from the Adelaide Business School and for this ceremony.
Well done, graduates. That was a very impressive lineup of future employees in this state and beyond, so great stuff. I'm now very pleased to introduce our valedictorian to you. Earlier we saw Miss Elaine Almeida being presented with the Bachelor of Commerce, and Elaine will now give the valedictory address on behalf of all of the graduates who are graduating today. Thanks, Elena.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to acknowledge that we're gathered here today on the traditional lands of the Kaurna people, and I pay my respect to elders past and present. I would like to thank the Faculty of Professions for giving me the honour to represent the 2021 graduating cohort, and to the 2021 cohort, congratulations. I would also like to make a special mention to those students who are unable to be here today due to border restrictions. We hope you're celebrating in spirit. I'd also like to acknowledge the family and friends we have here watching this live stream. Thank you for your support. When I began university a few years ago, I remember sitting in this very hall and listening to a speech being delivered by a student about their university experiences. My mum turned to me and said, "I would love to see you up there one day, giving a speech." I replied, "That's impossible. I could barely speak up in class when we did those painful icebreaker activities. And I'm the person in every group presentation to say, hey, I'll work on everything else, but can you please give me the smallest portion of the script?" One of my biggest fears is public speaking, and I'm sure you can tell I'm not over it. In fact, when this opportunity was presented to me, rather than being excited, I was terribly anxious, and my first thoughts were, I'm going to screw this up. And while I may still do so, I'm here to be an example of what you can do if you just step out of your comfort zone and put yourself out there. You can probably do the impossible. Through my roles as a student ambassador, I've had the privilege to connect with my fellow students and to be able to share my experiences and hopefully make them feel like it's okay to make mistakes. My favourite thing to do is when I relate to students when they share their concerns. I love saying, "Don't worry, I've also failed that exam," or "I've also fallen down the stairs outside Barsmith Library during exam season, and everyone heard it." I think it's so important to not make people feel like they're alone in their experiences, especially when we all make mistakes, and we've all shared that challenging but hopefully rewarding university experience, and we've almost always gotten over any challenge or embarrassing moment that at the time felt unending. I guess I'm only sharing this because often we come so far ahead in life, we forget that our past selves would have been so proud to know that we achieved something today that we then thought was impossible. I have been blessed to have constantly received immense support and care from my tutors, lecturers, peers, and my faculty. I'm so grateful that they were able to push me out of my comfort zone to overcome my fears, or at least face them. I hope you can all reflect on a time when you have experienced the same during your time here and felt like you overcame something you never thought you could achieve. It could just be graduating today. I'm certain that moving forward into our professional careers or further education, we will be faced with challenges and we will be thrown out of our comfort zones. We may be forced to make some difficult decisions. I hope that we can reflect on our time at the university and remember those all-nighters we pulled to hand in an assignment, or dealing with any other challenge or hurdles that you overcame during your time here, and use that as motivation to overcome whatever it is you're faced with in the future. I also urge you to reflect on the people who may have helped you be where you are today. They may have been your student advisors at the faculty or your tutors and lecturers. Maybe they were your fellow peers who may have directed you to the Santos Lecture Theatre, or the classmate who swapped seats with you so you could charge your laptop or sit closer to your friends, or the stranger you asked to mind your stuff so you can go to the toilet or buy a coffee, or just someone who smiled at you as you were anxiously walking towards your mid-semester exam. Little things like this may not seem like much now, but I'm sure in the moment it made your life a bit easier. I hope that we can all be inspired by the little gestures that made you smile during your time at uni and pass on little acts of kindness within our new endeavours. Before I end today, I would like to thank my family, my mum and dad, my sisters, my boyfriend, and my extended family overseas who have always supported me throughout my studies so far. I'd especially like to mention a thanks to my nana, who lights a candle before every big event I've got or exam, so thank you. And I would like to extend this feeling of immense gratefulness on behalf of the 2021 graduating cohort to the family and friends we have here today, and those watching online. Thank you for your support during our studies. I now invite all graduates to stand and join me to thank our family, friends, university staff, and anyone else who has helped us get through the journey that has led up to graduation today. Thank you everyone for joining in. I hope you all have a wonderful day celebrating this momentous occasion. Congratulations once again and all the best for the future.
Thanks, Elaine. If that's anything to go by, I think you've got a career in public speaking. That was most impressive. Well done. It now gives me very great pleasure to congratulate all of our new graduates here this day on your graduations. Be so proud of what you have achieved, and as Elaine said, remember all of those who have supported you to where you are today. I wish you, on behalf of the university, every success in your life and careers from this point forward. As graduates of the University of Adelaide, you join an illustrious group of well over 150,000 people who have graduated from this university right across the world in more than 135 countries. So we're delighted to have you amongst our ranks. I would very much like to thank Yogesh, our mace bearer, Elaine again for that valedictory address, and Mr. Brenton Cox for his oration. I'd also like to acknowledge all who assisted in organising and ensuring such a smooth running event today. It's now my privilege to ask all of you, our guests, not our graduates, to do the opposite of what Elaine said. Perhaps if you could all rise and we acknowledge our graduates today. Thank you. If you would all remain standing, please, that would be great. And please, graduates, if you could also be upstanding now for the academic recession. Once the academic recession has left the hall, if you could please remain standing, and you will be directed to the exit areas. So on your behalf, I now declare this wonderful congregation adjourned. Thank you.